Namaste, Sat Sri Akal.
Assalamu alaikum.
So Harris, I love your outfit. Where did you get it from?
Thanks, Kirti. I got this from a brand called J Dot.
Uh-huh.
It's a Pakistani franchise. He's a designer and he used to be a singer as well. And then he became like a Maulvi Saab.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
wait. Did you get this outfit for a special occasion, Ki
I,
Amy?
no, I got it for actually my cousin's wedding for his Mendi.
Even though you didn't ask me, let me tell you about
I
this
was going to
outfit.
come to that.
So basically, my sister got this for me when she went to India. Isn't it cute?
It's pretty. It's really nice. I like
Yeah,
the
it's like
floral print and stuff.
yeah, it's like this embroidery and there's some mirror work. This is has some Rajasthani or Gujarati roots. I don't know, but I
Is it
really love it.
handmade? It looks hand printed.
Yeah, it's handmade. Isn't it
Yeah, you
pretty?
could tell it's handmade. Yeah.
We're sitting here dressed up in ethnic clothes. Okay, first of all, how much of a pet peeve is it to be called ethnic clothes, ethnic wear? I hate it.
I
Can
hate
we
it
just
too.
Yahan ka mana because it's ethnic for the kind of community and society we live in. You being in UK, me being in the US, when we wear these clothes, yes, they're ethnic. But I don't understand कि like India में why do they call Indian clothes ethnic? Like आपके लिए तो Indian ही है. Are you comfortable or not comfortable wearing these kind of clothes out?
It's easy for me, to be honest, because I live in a family that's grown up wearing these clothes. I
Mhm,
live in an area where there's Asian community, like 70% of it's Asian. Like we've
mhm,
got Pakistanis, we've got Indians, we've got Bengalis,
mhm.
we've got Iranis. So we've got a mixed culture as well.
It
Something.
makes it easier, I think. See, I was born and raised in Maryland, right? And I was like maybe 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes outside of DC. And where I lived was very multicultural. And also in the 90s, like my mom and dad were here very young. My mom came before she got married, even, right? So she came straight from India, and the India she left was very different than the India now. So she was very comfortable wearing suit and sari and bindi and sindoor, over here once she got married as well. I remember as a kid going to the grocery stores, her in a suit. We're going to buy clothing and she's wearing a suit and she has a bindi. She's always worked in the banking industry. And even there, as first like a clerk and then as a manager, even supervisor, even she used to wear suits and bindi and mangalsutra and jo bhi hai. But all of that changed when we moved from Maryland to the part of Virginia we moved to when I turned 10 years old. It was a predominantly white community. So it was very little minority groups there. And if they were African American or even Latino. They weren't Indians or even Pakistanis. 30 minutes out from there were. But the school I went to, I was maybe one of like 5 Desis. And when we say Desi, we include everybody, okay? Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Nepali, whoever looks like us is a Desi for us. I was never comfortable wearing suits or lenge or whatever out in public because I'm one of those people who already think that people are staring at me. And when you're wearing this, people do stare at you, especially growing up when you're already so unsure of yourself because I didn't see anyone like me out on American mainstream television or movies. There was nobody. So I used to look at East Asians like Chinese or whoever, and then I used to look at Latinas and be like, oh, there's like a minority there. We are like that. They're representing us. All Asians represent Indians as well. So that's what we used to do. There was no one for me to follow. This is why I love Bollywood so much and Indian music and movies so much because that was my escape. I saw people who looked like me, who talked like me, who ate the food we ate. So I always had this love-hate relationship growing up. Like I know I'm different. You don't have to tell me I'm different. But at the same time, I'm American. I'm not Indian. I'm American. I was born and raised here. But as I got older, I started embracing my Indianness more and more. Because the older you get, the more confident you get. And the more you don't care what the hell people think of you.
Fortunately, I've been kind of lucky because like my mom's obviously when she came to this country,
Mhm.
she was like into her Western wear and normal
Mhm.
like English clothes, like dresses, trousers, and
Mhm.
stuff. But when we moved out of a different area, like the area I'm in now,
Mhm.
it all changed, and we got lucky because she started wearing her full dresses, her salwar
Mhm.
kameez, and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But in the beginning, obviously, she got criticized and stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people like you said, they look up and down at you because you're Asian. That
Mhm.
happens, but that happens in like central London, for
Yeah.
example, main London. Where I work, I can't go like this.
Yeah.
Even if it's Eid, if it's Diwali, if it's Holi, any festival, I am not going like this because people will be like, what the heck's going on? I would get people literally swearing, abusing,
Oh, really?
yeah, you'd even get
What?
people throwing eggs at you. That's
What?
how crazy it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
I have never experienced anything like this. I mean, as I've gotten older, I've also seen that more and more people like fetishize, if I don't know if that's the right word, or culturally appropriate. That's a better word. So, like for example, we wear churiyan or whatever, and then all of a sudden, as I was growing up, bangles and bracelets became a thing. Stacked bracelets became a thing. You could go to a regular store, like say Claire's or Marks and Spencer's or wherever, okay, and they would give you stacked bracelets. What are stacked bracelets? They're churiyan. These jhumke or whatever became a thing. People started wearing these, but they wouldn't say it's Indian or South Asian. And then also, when I was 16 or 17, I wanted to get my nose pierced because for me, that was like an Indian thing to do. And at that point, I was really embracing my Indianness, right? So I went and got my nose pierced. And I was one of the only people in my high school that had my nose pierced. And then all of a sudden, I saw so many girls going and getting their nose pierced because it wasn't an Indian thing anymore. Piercing in general is very popular. Whenever we had Karwa Chauth, and as a teenager, we used to celebrate, like, my mom would do Karwa Chauth, or we had Diwali, or there was a wedding, we used to put the mehndi on. And people would look at us like, what is that? What is on your hand? I remember once a teacher, when I was in middle school, was like, oh, did you not wash your hands after you ate? You got Cheetos on your fingers. Like, really?
What?
Yes. So henna was like stigmatized, and now henna tattoos are all over the place. People love henna tattoos. What brought about this change is social media, the internet, because people can stay at home and visit India or Pakistan if they want. They know the kind of traditions that are there now. I've seen so many non-Indians wear Indian clothing now, especially if they attend Indian weddings or parties or whatever. They dance to Indian music now. They eat Indian food. I remember growing up, people would bring food from home, instead of having cafeteria food at school. I used to be like, no, mom, I'm not taking no roti, no pranthe, nothing. Because I was like, people are going to look at me. They're going to think it smells, because Indian people got called the curry home. Oh, you smell like curry. Your clothes smell like curry.
Yeah.
Your hair smells like curry. Is that all you eat? Curry, 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 curry. Our names are made fun of all the time. So my last name is Sharma, and the way I say it obviously has an anglicized accent or American accent. So people used to call me Charmin. Charmin is a brand of toilet paper. So Sharma became
Yeah.
Sharman. Stuff like that happens. People think it's a joke. I used to take it as a joke too. Like, what am I gonna? I don't take it seriously, but I can understand how someone else could, and that's very detrimental to them. Harris, I don't know if you have ever had someone pinpoint something at you as a question or a joke. It's happened to me a lot. I have always been asked, am I the dot Indian or the feather Indian? Now, if you don't know, a dot Indian is the Bindi Indian, obviously, and a feather Indian is the Native Americans, the original people that were settled here. So to confuse two ethnicities, some people genuinely don't understand how we're totally different. And then I feel like if they do understand we're different, it's pretty damn shame that you have to, stereotype us like this and kind of bring us down. Like, what does dot Indian mean? What does feather Indian mean? We have our culture. We respect our culture. We respect your culture. It's very easy to be a majority and look down at the minority.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But with us, obviously, it's not like dot or whatever. The terminology that they would use is like, for example, they'll say, "Are you Paki? Are you Indian?" and stuff. They'll
Mhm.
discriminate on that because they'll be like, "You're brown, so you must be Indian or
Mhm.
Pakistani." But you do get a lot of sneaky comments, like, for example, oh, when it comes to like your parents, where are they from? They call us freshies, basically, off the
Mhm.
boat. So they'll
Mhm.
use like he's definitely a boaty because he's brown skin, he wears Asian clothes, he doesn't know how to talk, he hasn't got the perfect accent, they've got different color skin tones and stuff like that. Especially when they see your parents as well. Like I
Yeah.
remember as a kid we used to have parents meetings and they come to school. Not even teachers, you get students in school looking up and down at your parents like, what the hell is that person's mum's wearing? Why she got a chadar on? Why is she
Mhm.
wearing jewelry, jumke and
Yeah.
stuff? So
Yeah.
it was kind of a hell situation.
I never wanted my parents to be a chaperone. I
Yeah, of
never wanted
course.
my parents to come to school. That's so sad and that's so disrespectful. As a kid, I didn't think about it because I was worried about myself, what people will say to me, what people will think. As I got older, I was like, forget you. If you don't like me, you can go to hell because I like me and where I'm from. But at the same time, do want to say this. I love that I was born and raised here. I love being from here because I was exposed to so many different ideas and people at a very young age. So I don't look at you and be like, oh, wait, who are you? Where are you from? And then if you suit my likes, then I will be friends with you. My friends are like the UN. I have someone from everywhere. And I love that because you live in a bubble and diversity allows you to expand that bubble. And you get to learn different languages, eat different food, learn about cultures. Like, I love that. I don't want people to think that we're just harping at how hard it is to be like a minority living in America or the UK. The flip is also true. In America, I felt like I was too Indian to be American. But when I go to India, I'm too American to be Indian. And I've always experienced this. I have always felt like I'm in no man's land, even when I went as a kid and even now. My upbringing is different. Yes, I know the language. Yes, I eat the food. Yes, I know like my religion or scriptures. But at the same time, the way I talk is not Indian enough. I'm too opinionated. The way I look isn't Indian enough. I wear too many American clothes. So I talk a certain way that's not appropriate or not Indian enough. You know, I'm a loudmouth. I'm an outspoken personality. It's like, where do you belong? So I didn't know growing up if I'm Indian or if I'm American. And then when I grew up, I was like, bitches, I'm Indian and I'm American. Tell me what you want to do about it. I am so lucky that I got to pick and choose the good qualities of both cultures I'm a part of. And I feel like this judging, Indian people khud ke bando ko nahi chhodte, what are other people gonna do? If you can't even respect that people are different and come from different places, it's never gonna work.
Yeah, I totally relate to that because even when I go to Pakistan, for example, I went recently and I get comments like, and I'm wearing Asian clothes, I'm talking the language, and people are like, look, Angrezi Babu is here. And they differentiate straight away. They're like, he's a Gora, he doesn't know how to talk, he's got no respect for people. They actually judge you properly. Even like as a guy, I can't even go out in shorts because they'll be like, Tange dikha rahe, look at him and this and that. Yeah, you get these sneaky comments.
Yeah. When people like Indians who are born and brought up elsewhere or Pakistanis that are born and brought out elsewhere, if they don't know the language, people make so much fun of them. Oh, you forgot your roots. You don't know where you're from. You can't speak the language. And then you have people like us who can and readily listen to the music, readily watch the movies. And we are so well versed in the pop culture of those countries, right? But it's not respected or it's not valued because we aren't speaking exactly how they want. They laugh at us because we have an accent.
Definitely, they do. And they're like,
They
you don't know
don't
how to speak, you
appreciate.
can't pronounce
Yes,
words. Even if the
yes.
accent's not perfect, at least we're trying because we get taught here in school in England. We're born in an English school, but it's about at least you're trying to learn a language.
My dad always told us that education is really important. So in that way, we were able to be educated. That was never stopped. And my dad always told us, if I can come from engineering school in Punjab, come to America, get my master's in America, get a well-paying job, there's no way you being born and brought up in America can't surpass me. Anything people can do, you can do. Don't ever let anyone say that you can't do something. And even like Tino, my husband, he had to go through a lot too because he wasn't born and brought up here. He came as a teenager. So he had to adjust to a whole different world. Like Delhi is very different than other parts of India, but it's not America. He recently got this position or this promotion in his workplace. He's the first South Asian man, Indian man to get this position. That's not just an accomplishment for him, that's an accomplishment for his parents. For me, I feel like, you know,
For
for
the
our
kids, of
family,
course,
for
for the next
friends, our
generation.
kids, because this guy has reached a place where so many people are told that because your name is different, because your religion is different, because your color is different, you cannot reach here. And he has shown that you can, and hard work will get you there. People who are minorities don't need to think that, you know, hamara kya hoga, because a lot can happen. You just have to stick to it, and you don't let the naysayers bring you down. I don't
Yeah.
know, like if this applies to you. Actually, it probably does, and it probably applies to not only us but all minorities. Maybe for Desi standards, like we're pretty light skinned because I know our communities are very particular about skin. These individuals from our homeland, they think that we are so privileged because of the color of our skin, but they don't realize that where we are born and brought up, where we live, they don't realize that we are not white. We don't have gori chamdi. We are considered brown and we are told we are brown. And the crazy thing is, these same people go to tanning salons to get our skin color in the summers. There was this Indian video, like YouTube video I watched, and it was about how the film industry or the modeling industry, commercials and TV, they select people based on their color of their skin. And if you're lighter skin, you will get the job, you might get paid more, you're considered more beautiful. As a result, a lot of people get bleaching, like skin bleaching treatments, and they hate how they look, and they're very vulnerable in terms of how people look at them and perceive them, and they think they're not good enough. And I commented on that video that is so unfortunate that there's so much colorism in our communities because people equate color of their skin to whether or not someone is beautiful and should be attractive. And instead of people like agreeing or liking my comment, I got so many hate comments. And
No
I was like
way.
taken aback. Yes. They said, "Who are you to talk on this issue? You are a privileged, light-skinned Indian."
Oh my God. That's crazy.
It doesn't matter if I'm light-skinned Indian or dark-skinned Indian or light-skinned human or dark-skinned human. What is wrong is wrong. People say, "Oh, बाहर ना racist लोग बहुत हैं." पर हम अपने ही देश में लोगों को disrespect कर रहे हैं, high, low class में डाल रहे हैं, you know, based on their color of their skin or whatever. Isn't that colorism? Isn't that racist? Isn't that discrimination?
Of
तो मुझे
course,
ये
for
नहीं समझ
sure.
आता when our people do it to each other, how that's okay, but some other person does it to you, then it's a big deal.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that because even when I go to Pakistan, I get comments like Gori, Chamari, and stuff. And then
Yeah.
things like, for example, women get discriminated as well. Like, I've got a sister, she's kind of like tan, like compared to my complexion, she's really tan. And people are like, when she was getting married, they were like, we're not going to marry her because bahut kali hai. My other sisters are like, she's too gorified. So they're never happy basically. If you're too
Yeah.
white, if you're too dark, there's always a
There's
discrimination.
always something.
But like you said, they don't look at other sides of the beauty, like your personality and stuff like that. And that's where people are wrong because they're thinking their soch is kharab. It's about how you eat your food.
Yes.
Like, I've got people out there, they're okay to eat with a fork and knife and stuff, but the moment I would start, they'll be like, Gora, Angrezi, Firangi, that sort of stuff. And I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? I've grown up
Eating.
doing
Can we
this.
eat
You're
how
in a
we want to
modern
eat?
world.
Exactly.
You're in a modern world. You've got all these facilities. You've got cooks, cleaners, and stuff. We don't have anything out here. We do everything ourselves.
Yeah.
But even then, it's a problem.
One thing that I really love with this explosion of food TV, like all these shows that are out there where you get to see the food, how it's cooked, how it's prepared, and you see the world's biggest chefs going and eating different kinds of foods. And I think that's helped a lot of people also broaden their horizons. You know, we live in countries where there's a mix of everybody. And because of that, we are exposed to a mix of food like no other. So
Yeah.
I love eating and picking and choosing from different ethnicities, different cultures, you know, because it's fun. Like, I don't want to
Yeah,
eat the
it's
same
fun.
thing every single day. These
Sure.
days, Indian food is very, very popular here. People love the Indian food, the curries, you know, people love it.
I'm not sure if you know
Oh,
this, but
oh.
the national food of UK is actually chicken tikka masala.
Yeah, exactly. That tells you how popular it is. It makes people less weary. Like, the more you're exposed to something, the more you're okay with it. You know, in this vein of exposing to different things and different foods and stuff like that, you know, the school system that my kids are a part of now, their school system gives them off for Eid now and off for Diwali. When
No
I was
way.
when I was growing up, this never happened. Never.
Yeah, same here. We've never
We
got
would never-
Eid off, no
Yeah, we
Diwali,
would
nothing.
never dream of this. And now that's showing that more and more people are being exposed to this stuff. People know how important these cultural or religious, you know, festivals and dates are. They're making an effort to include that. Now, I'm not saying some people don't like it, because some people don't like it. But there's a lot of people who more and more say that, you know what, it should be off because we also get off during Christmas or Easter,
Yeah.
you know? And also, it gives them an opportunity to learn about it. Also, it makes us feel included in the society
Yeah,
we
it's all
live
about
in,
acceptance.
you know?
They accept you.
Exactly.
Yeah, because even over here, we never get Eid off, but you have to book it.
Mhm.
But luckily, you get your way around and stuff. They understand and they are progressing. The country
Yeah.
is developing as time goes further. You started getting acceptance, however you are. Like,
Yeah.
even like, for example, you have all this hijab thing and stuff. First, it used to be a time where even in schools, it's like, you can't wear it. You can't wear salwar kameez. Because I've got, like, in my high school, I used to have like girls and stuff. They wanted to wear salwar kameez with instead of a shirt and trousers. But it's like, no, you can't. you can't wear a scarf. But now it's like you
Now
can.
anyone can wear. Yeah, even when I was growing up, one of my good friends, she used to wear salwar kameez like every single day, and she was a hijabi as well. The world is at your footsteps now. Like this globalization that has happened has created really good opportunities for being more inclusive, being more accepting. And another thing with this is, we talk about Diwali and Eid, but Holi is very popular here now. Festival of Colors. People just think it's a big rave, where people are throwing things and having a good time. Holi is like that. You're just throwing colors at each other. You're having fun. There's song and dance. Basically, Bollywood movies, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, it has open people's eyes to a lot of different things. And I want to take this opportunity to talk about Priyanka Chopra really quick. Priyanka jo chalo baad mein thodi aayi hai. Before then we had Cal Penn. We even had Kumail Nanjiani. So we had some people who are Pakistani or from Indian descent, but Priyanka Chopra has come here and she has showed people that doesn't matter what you look like, what your name is, what your background is. If you have talent, you have talent. And now people can look at her and be like, oh man, she looks like me. I can be her one day. Ever since I was like a toddler, I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a dancer. I never, ever told my family or friends Hollywood because I didn't
Yeah.
see it. I always said, I'm going to go to Bollywood and I'm going to become an actress. I'm going to become a dancer. Ye alag baat hai कि वो हुआ नहीं क्योंकि my dad said पढ़ाई पढ़ाई पढ़ाई. But the fact is you can only dream of doing something if there's representation. The movie industry, the music industry has done wonders.
Yeah, I want to take that opportunity and speak about Dev Patel because he's obviously from here. You've probably heard of him,
Yeah.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
He's obviously done the Indian community proud as well. So that's Priyanka Chopra. She's created a level that no one's actually touched at the moment. Like you've got Sonam Kapoor, for example. You've got Deepika and stuff who are entering Hollywood, but she's created this next level space. But with him, he's done the same. Like he's got an amazing fan base. Yeah. He's created a legacy for himself already.
Growing up, there was this one movie that came and I think exposed people to Indian families, and it was called Bend It Like Beckham. I'm sure you know it.
Oh my God, that's my favorite.
You know that movie was so Indian, but it was so like us. Born and raised in different countries, dealing with parents that are immigrants, the same problems, the same issues. A lot of people in my school came to me and was like, that's what your family's like, isn't it? I said, that's exactly what my family is like. They were like, do you eat aloo gobi too? I was like, yes. They were like, do you know how to make it? I said, yes. They were like, do you make roti? Yes. They were like, do you guys dance and sing and drink like this? I was like, yes, this is us. Anupam Kher played that dad, that father figure who's very protective, doesn't want his daughter going out with a firanga,
Yeah, playing football.
Like, is your dad like that? I said, forget my dad. My mom is also like that. We are from a very strong, like, asi Indian ban ke rehna, asi Punjabi hai, so this is how we were raised. And I'm like, now you guys understand how at home we are a certain way. And then when we leave the house, we are a little bit different, but we're still the same.
Yeah, exactly.
A.R. Rahman, you mentioned Slumdog Millionaire. A.R. Rahman became not a household name, but people know who he is. Anil Kapoor, he came into the 24 show, and then he even made a 24 in India. Oh, Ali Fazal, he's like a big guy coming from India to mainstream American movies. I want to mention politics really quick. There is some representation in American politics with Indians. Some senators are from Indian descent. Some House of Representatives, they're from Indian descent. These minority groups are rising. They are becoming something. Kamala Harris, she's half Indian. Maybe a few decades ago, that was unimaginable for something like that to happen. And the more we see that, hey, people like us are in these positions, the more our kids can then feel like they can one day also be there.
We've got a similar thing in the UK because we've got like Preeti Patel, she's from India. Then we've got Sadiq Khan, who's basically from Pakistan, so he works with the mayors and stuff. So people are progressing. They are involving Asians into politics as well. So I think that's growing, and that shows that we are living with acceptance now.
So Harris, another point of contention, or I think people think or hold this stereotype, is that money grows on trees.
Yeah.
outside of India. Like they think that people have it so easy कि इन बड़े बड़े घरों में रह रहे हैं, ये गाड़ियां हैं, ये कपड़े हैं. They don't understand there's no ancestral home जिसमें हम बैठ रहे हैं. People don't realize how hard we work. My mom, when she came to America, worked 2 jobs. Then she had us, so she had 2 babies, and she was still working 2 jobs. My dad was working as a clerk in some store and going to college for his master's. So किन्ने रगड़े लगदे हैं, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? बंदा किस जांदा तावी कुछ नहीं होता. We don't have cooks coming and cooking for us. We don't have cleaners coming and cleaning for us. You know,
Yeah.
we don't have malis coming and taking care of our gardens. We don't have people doing istri. There's a lot of privileges that they have that we don't have. Like I
Yeah,
was
no,
in high
totally, I
school when
get
I
it.
started my first job. You know, people are like, you have to pay for gas.
But they don't realize how much struggle we go through. We pay
Yeah.
tax, we pay bills, we pay council tax. Even to live in my place, I have to pay tax.
Yeah.
To have my car parks on the road, I have
Oh
to pay
yeah,
tax.
definitely. Yeah.
So they don't understand. They think money grows on trees.
So
Yeah.
maybe let's end up on that, you guys. This was not a cribbing session. Do not give us comments. Ki, hi, Harris, you feel this. Kirti, you feel this. I don't want people to think we're harping on about our problems. We're speaking from a minority point of view, and we're speaking from our own experience of having lived in a foreign country and having gone to
Exactly.
the motherland, and we experience issues both countries.
So yeah, Kirti, I totally agree with sharing our experiences in life, how we've grown up, how we've seen life, how we've been raised. And please, guys, don't dig us out. It's nothing personal.
That was it for today. And also leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. Do you want more content like this? Don't forget to share and like and subscribe and give us that love. Bye, guys.